Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here,
And BlueDragonFive.
And Monkey.
and welcome to the Main Street Cinema, the show where we discuss the finer points of filmmaking. Woo!
Yeah!
Mm.
Ugh!
Alright, that was the best Bill Melendez. Good job. Okay, so, folks, it is finally the Peanuts Movie Podcast. We've been talking about this movie for quite a while, and we've been both... Monkey, is it fair to say that we've been both anticipating and dreading this movie?
I'd say I'm probably on a more subtle level, but yeah, it was there.
Alright, because obviously we all kind of really, we appreciate the Peanuts in our own ways. I live one town away from Santa Rosa where Schulz spent a majority of his career. So I'm kind of in Peanuts country. Like, I'm right in the middle of it. So it really does affect me on a pretty personal level.
You near
And
coffee?
What?
You close to coffee? His plot of his land's called Coffee. It's the name of it.
I'm pretty sure I am. I'm close to Snoopy's Home Ice.
Okay.
Yeah. I've had this since I was a kid. I used to sleep with this when I was like 5 years old. So yeah, there's that. anyways, so I guess going into it, because this is kind of going to be a big breakdown podcast, BlueDragonFive, obviously, is it fair to say you were anticipating and dreading this?
Yes. So, mind if I start us off with our anticipations, like before we saw the movie?
Go ahead.
So, I mean, as Tiki and I have kind of went into along with Monkey at times, I'm sure. When the movie was announced and trailers and so on and so forth, I was excited yet worried because it's a big screen. On one hand, it could be a big screen Lego movie kind of heart-tugging tribute that could go over great. That's like the best case scenario. But in the worst case scenario, like kind of evidence supporting this is that, the last
It could be like the Lorax.
Sure. But also, I mean, like the evidence that kind of supported that fear was that the last Peanuts special, which was adapted by one of Schultz's children, Craig Schulz, if I'm remembering correctly, which we did get him in. I want to say brother, but I don't know who the other Schultz was specifically. It might have been cousin. I don't know.
Son, maybe?
Hmm?
Or, because I think it's Schultz's son and grandson, I think?
Yeah, that might be it. I can't quite remember. Point is, one of the Schultz children worked on this special called it was Lion Center ones, like the Security is a Warm Blanket, Charlie Brown, which is a great story, which was Charles Schultz he wrote that and drew it as he does, and the adaptation was like it was done in 2011, wasn't that good, and I wasn't thrilled by it at all. It was like to me it was a really disappointing Peanuts special, and that's had obviously fueled my worry for the movie. That if it's one of those guys is working on it, I'm not sure. It could go either way, but Anyway, so the other thing to keep in mind is when we were doing our speculation and everything, we had very little information aside from just a little peek into the look, and that it might be about the introduction of Little Red Hair Girl. That's all we knew. So that little information, just our fears or great hopes, it was a really mixed bag.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, going into it for me, basically, the first half of this year was Jurassic World for me in terms of like, oh my god, if this isn't as good as I'm hoping it is, then it's just going to crush me. Second half, it was kind of the Peanuts movie. I mean, I'm with everyone else in terms of Star Wars. I'm sure Star Wars will be good. Blah, 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 yada, yada. There's other movies I'm looking forward to. But Peanuts was definitely the big one. Peanuts was the one that I had so much personal stake in. And even when I saw the trailers, I was impressed, but I was still like, all right, is this going to be really as good as I hope it is, or is it... The one thing that worried me, that really kind of gave me pause, was the fact that it was being produced by Blue Sky, which just doesn't have the greatest track record in terms of animated films. I mean...
Yeah.
I'm just sick of Ice Age, and even here they try and cram Ice Age down our throats just a little bit.
I got a story about that, by the way. I got information on that I'm going to share with you guys when we get to it.
We'll get to that. Well, on the bright side of that Ice Age short, it literally ends with, like, all the characters about to die.
Well, I'll explain that when we get to it. It's a little more to it than that.
So it's like, hey, no more Ice Age. Yay! Good job, Sprat. Good job. You killed off a dying
Did I say
franchise.
deaded?
Well,
Oh.
unfortunately, it may not be as cut and dry as it could awesomely have been.
It would have been awesome if that was like the last we ever saw of those characters.
Yeah,
ever.
but okay, I'll tell you now. Basically,
All right, go ahead.
When I heard it's going to lead in, that's kind of the lead in. The short is going to lead into the next Ice Age movie. That's going to be kind of
Hold on, I'll be right.
Okay.
okay. So it's going to be leading to the next Ice Age movie, where basically Scratch, rearrange the cosmos, which is going to, I don't know what. They've been very vague about that. It's going to lead to our main protagonist having to migrate, leaving their homes for some reason, which I kind of wish they just left it at ambiguously. He might, they might all be kind of. Now, I knew there was. I don't know why.
If that movie was just like fucking just let's kill everyone, but that's not going to happen.
It's funny. That thought never crossed my mind until I heard the cinema snob discuss it in his midnight screening. It never dawned on me. Oh man, that could actually be their ending. There's meteorites going down the earth. But a little more on that later, a little bit. So.
Okay. Well, I guess Monkey's not here now, so.
Of course not. No, he's with us in spirit, though.
In spirit, yeah, I'm sure he'll be back.
Doesn't camp for squat, but he's with us in spirit. Okay, so Tiki, what was your initial reaction? Like, what was your first reaction seeing the movie?
My first reaction seeing the movie was, this is the Lego movie equivalent of Peanuts. Yeah. I liked it that much. I really did think that everything about it was just, from top to bottom, every single frame of this thing is just a giant homage to Schulz. I think the characters were captured perfectly. I think the story was as simple as it needed to be. The animation, I feel like, is groundbreaking in a similar way that oh my god. What the hell is that?
Egad.
Snoopy.
Okay, what have you done to yourself? Oh. For a second there, I thought you just had like a giant Snoopy head on for the way.
That's what I thought too. For a second, I thought it was like a giant Snoopy, like Monkey. Did you kill a character from Knott's Camp Snoopy?
I don't have that many handy props.
No, I was thinking like you killed a man on stage for a Snoopy costume. That's what I thought it was for a moment. Just like knife in his back, he just took his head off.
Yeah, that's totally what I did.
Yeah.
Kidding. This ain't look
People
like
Knots
this.
are fine with it because, well, I can use it to promote Knots in this podcast. Speaking of which, Knott's Berry Farm was voiced to the Iron Reef and upcoming upgrades to Ghost Town. And we're cheaper than Disney. Come today!
So, Monkey, did you have, real quick before we proceed, did you have any thoughts going into any of your fears going into the movie?
Yeah, I guess the fears were present. I mean, why wouldn't they be? It's a Peanuts movie in 2015 amidst all these other things. But, I don't know, I don't think it worried me too much. I think I expected it to be alright going in, so...
Okay.
Okay.
What was your initial reaction, coming out of the theater? What'd you think?
Coming out of the theater, I enjoyed it. I gotta say, I'm probably gonna say, second best animated movie of the year behind Inside Out.
Oh yeah, it's not as good as Inside Out. I'm not gonna argue with
Believe
you.
me, we like this movie. Come on.
I truly do, but Inside Out is just something.
Oh yeah, of
special,
course,
man.
of course.
I mean, Inside Out gets the Oscar 1 minute into the movie. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, that's saying. But yeah, I mean, people are saying like, oh, it's good, not great, and I kind of maybe think it's great in its goodness.
But being great in its goodness is kind of like almost a ridiculously accurate way of describing Charlie Brown in general. Because Charlie Brown the Peanuts never strives to be anything extraordinary. You know what I mean? They never do. Like, the thing that people have loved about the Peanuts from the very beginning is how humble they are and how just down-to-earth the specials are. And I feel like this movie captured that quality of it perfectly. And I don't think this movie was ever supposed to be like this big, mind-blowing sort of thing. It was always meant to be this humble sort of story, you know?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm not saying it was trying to be Inside Out. I'm not saying it had to be Inside Out. I thought it succeeded rather nicely.
I think The Good Dinosaur is the movie that's going to be in trouble of being compared to Inside Out. Because I think with this, it's two completely different movies. It's like, this is like the Lego movie compared to How to Train Your Dragon 2 from last year. Inside Out is just going to be like, oh boy. You know, like, even if The Good Dinosaur is, like, really, really good, even if it's great, even if it's a freaking great movie, if it's not as good as Inside Out, people are going to be like, oh, Pixar, ooh, Pixar's not doing as good as they were 6 months ago.
Yeah, but yeah, so generally I thought they did a really fine job with it, and also pretty funny stuff. It's like it definitely got some good laughs out of me.
Sure. So my initial reaction. So I mean, coming into kind of in the theater, I just instantly realized just as it was kind of going on there, even just walking out there, just kind of dawned on me. You know, this is just such a great love letter to the Peanuts and all the nostalgia we have for them. The strip, the holiday specials, there's references galore, you know, with the touching Charlie Brown story at the heart of it. You know, it's the ultimate compilation of Peanuts, of Peanuts everything. You know, the references to everything, just kind of homages it, and it's the ultimate. It's like an OVA, but for the Peanuts. You know, it's like kind of like it's like the movies that kind of summarize the entire entire animes into like one movie.
God. I'm sure I'll get to that later.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like kind of like sometimes animes will do this thing where they just kind of have the one movie, like the Dragon Ball Z, and they like constantly they've like recapped the whole first season of Dragon Ball into one thing.
Sure.
Just like a movie, and that's kind of what the Peanuts did, but it worked really well. It wasn't just like a little story just forcing things to happen. It was just kind of this great story at the heart of it, with all kind of it was the ultimate reflection on the Peanuts as a whole. And I think it really worked for us. Just kind of caught up in how brilliant a move this was. It never dawned on me. Again, we only had to speculate that okay, it's going to be about kind of like an continuity thing, like the introduction of the little red-haired girl, and then they just kind of ran with that, and it was amazing.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I draw my Lego movie comparisons to, because it really does feel like, much like with the Lego movie, how every frame of that thing is like literally like a Lego product that you could have bought in the past, and that's what made that movie so goddamn fun.
Yeah.
It's very similar in terms of like almost every line and every little background detail is like something. You know, it's like even in the very first like 5 minutes, it's like Linus is like, oh, I hope the new kid is open-minded about the Great Pumpkin, and just stuff like that. It's, oh my god, there's so much. There is so much in this movie that... And it's not like Jurassic World, where I feel like Jurassic World was fan service, and that's fine, and it did good on the fan service front, but it wasn't really that great of a movie. I thought this was a really freaking good movie attached to just all the fan service going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dragon, what's our next category?
That'd be let's recap the plot.
All right, so like we said, it's like this movie wasn't really aiming to be anything big, It's not aiming to be Inside Out or anything that's going to be like, whoa, man, that changed the way I think about life. It's just, it's kids being kids, and it's childhood, and it's essentially like just childhood captured in a bottle and being like, hey, here's what life was like before smartphones existed.
Oh yeah, so I'm guessing
how I feel about that. You all know how I feel about that.
Let's just say we all breathed a sigh of relief that we didn't see any modern technology in this film.
The fact that cell phones weren't in this movie that wasn't only like just an ease of my fears. I also feel like this movie is like an open promotion of like, hey kids, go outside and do shit. You can have a really fun time outside of your cell phones. I really feel like this movie was kind of openly promoting doing stuff like that. So I really like that kind of message to it.
It's always a good move to keep them timeless.
Yeah. So, Drag, you want to kind of recap what little we have of the plot? Because it really is kind of just a series of vignettes.
Yeah, sure. So here essentially our main plot is the little red-haired girl moves across the street from Charlie Brown. He wants to impress her and do something right. That's his big goal for this movie. He wants to do at least one thing right to maybe impress her, just do one thing right in his life. And kind of our progression kind of takes through. So in response to this goal and desire, it's really kind of story 101 with this movie, which I appreciated. He goes to Lucy, this 5-cent psychiatrist, and she gives him advice to, you gotta be more confident. So through a series of events and opportunities for change, if you want to look at it from the story perspective, there's many opportunities for change, to be successful and change the way we've seen Charlie Brown for years now. Mm-hmm. So first off, there's a talent show. Then, after that doesn't work out, there's a dance. If that doesn't work out, there's a book report harkening back to the grand old New Year's Eve Charlie Brown, War and Peace.
Did any of you guys catch a Peter Rabbit reference in any of the book report stuff? Because I was looking for that hard.
I don't think I saw that.
I was so looking for a Peter Rabbit Easter egg.
Rabbit Easter egg.
So then,
well, if I may, on the topic of the book report, there's that comic book he hands to Violet and Patty.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Sparkplug and little folks on the back.
Oh, okay. Nice.
That was very clever. Anyway, so then it culminates into the kind of Charlie Brown realize that Charlie Brown got the highest score on the standardized test that we've all had to take in grade school.
Oh yeah.
And basically, he's kind of the top dog at that point. Of course, that doesn't work out for him. And basically, it culminates, and you think Charlie Brown is lost. He's depressed. He's saddened. He's in class. He gets kind of the summer pen pal project, and basically, he is picked by the little red girl. It perplexes him, so he confronts the little red-haired girl after she picked him for the pen pal assignment, just to ask why, and she gives him we get a fantastic ending. I'm not going to talk about it too much now because I'm sure we're going to bring it up throughout this thing. Mm-hmm. That's essentially the plot in a nutshell. It's Charlie Brown kind of wanting to impress a little red-haired girl.
On occasion.
Oh, of course, our Snoopy stuff with the Red Baron.
Yeah, you know what this structure kind of reminded me of? It reminded me of the 2011 Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, now that you mention it.
Where it wasn't really so much a story as much as it was just like, hey, let's spend some time with these characters, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was kind of a running through line. There was definitely more of a running story to this than Winnie the Pooh, where Winnie the Pooh almost could have been like a package film, like just 2 Winnie the Pooh stories in one. But this feels more like it's just like, yeah, the little red-haired girl is more of just kind of like just a goal, just kind of, I don't want to say a MacGuffin, because she's certainly more than that. Oh God.
No, but seriously, with the story here, it just plays as a simple yet effective progression. It takes its time with the change of seasons throughout the. Remember, it doesn't just take place over one season. It goes through all of them essentially. Starts off.
It's a school year.
Yeah, absolutely. And
I gotta say, it just the whole tone of this thing, man. I haven't seen an animated movie in quite a while that just took me back to being in elementary school the way that this thing did. Just the simplicity of it all, just like kind of the day-to-day monotony that this kind of stuff presents to itself, yet the fun times, the imagination, just kind of like how different the world was and our perspective of the world was when we were that age. I don't know, man. I got super nostalgic when I was.
And you know what's great about kind of that change of seasons idea with lumped in with our progression of time? It's that it's logically dictated by with Charlie Brown's fear of inadequacy, of like approaching Lorraine. When realistically, it would take him that long to work up the courage, and that's why the story keeps going through these seasons, because he still hasn't talked to her yet. And that's why these events keep presenting themselves.
This movie isn't a romance. It's not Charlie Brown trying to get with the little redhead girl. It's Charlie Brown trying to talk to the little redhead girl. I love that. I love that because it's totally realistic. I was totally that kid. I would just I don't know. It's like I would just have these crushes, and they'd be nice to me, and I'd just be like, oh God, I don't know. I could totally relate to the whole bit with, ringing the doorbell and then just being like, oh, God, no.
I mean, not necessarily that specific situation, just that general social hesitance. God, they captured it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I just love Charlie Brown in the nurse's office just mentioning, he's got he has a case of inadequacy.
Aww.
You have inadequacy, Charlie Brown.
But anyway, so with the story reason it's so effective, it just makes you invest in Charlie Brown like you've never invested in him before. It allows you to see kind of the sacrifices he makes, see what a good soul this guy is. Like, we haven't really seen too much of that, just the sacrifices he really is willing to make for people.
Yeah, we saw a lot of that in this movie.
Yeah, and of course, the World War I flying ace kind of was worked in nicely, and we'll get into that when we get into kind of our pros and cons. But looking just at addressing it,
pros and cons.
Instead of addressing a bit of it now, though, I think it's worked.
I like the way that it's worked in with Linus having the Red Baron playing at the beginning. That's fine. It just ate up way too much screen time. That's my issue with it. It ate up basically 1/3 of the whole damn movie.
I know, I disagree with that. I guess I'll save it for the.
I'm in between.
Okay.
All right. Well, then with that said, let's move on to the animation.
Game changer.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, honored the original style. Just kind of it gave it a partially three-dimensional, yet three-dimensional look. It's very colorful.
Did you see it in 3D?
Sorry?
Did either of you see it in 3D?
No, I did not see it in 3D.
I did.
All right,
was
cool.
It good?
How was it?
It's not too bad.
All right.
I mean, I guess the characters themselves are relatively flat, but some nice layering.
But the characters themselves are flat in the actual movie, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that's the great thing. It's like it's a partially three-dimensional look. It's basically it's 2D and it kind of plays that way. It's like a little more rounded.
Yeah, so that kind of sums it up. Like they do an okay job of the 3D, I think. Like I'd probably be okay seeing it in 2D also, but.
Well, yes, it played fantastically in 2D also.
Yeah, I definitely didn't feel like I was missing anything.
The textures are very impressive.
Textures are great. My favorite piece of the animation is the way that they do the mouths and the eyes. Because it's literally just line drawings over 3D animation. It's freaking ingenious.
Now, one of the most brilliant things they did for me in this movie is I love the integration of kind of the black and white sketch to classic comics.
Oh yeah,
I thought it was very effective. I'm gonna get back to that when we keep talking about how that affected me. But I thought it was really great stuff they put in there anyway. So the Snoopy animation was also very dynamic. You got the energy of like sort of classic Snoopy. He's popping up everywhere. Mary pops up in the little red hair girl's mailbox, all that sort of stuff. He's very energetic.
He is. I do feel like there was a little too much of him in general, and I feel like I don't know. I feel like the one thing about the nice slow pace of this movie in general that kind of gets interrupted at times is that Snoopy's just always there, kind of doing some slapsticky thing. I don't know. I don't think this movie is perfect, but I do really, really love it at the same time. So
maybe even if you are complaining, it's like, well, we're complaining about Snoopy and he's awesome.
Exactly.
But again, also something with. I'm sorry, Monkey. Go on.
No, Snoopy was saying damn right.
Oh, thanks, Snoopy. So, moving on. One more thing is that with the animations, I think it worked. I loved how it worked in the iconic poses that have just been embedded in our minds for God knows how many Peanuts things we've seen. So the iconic poses just worked into it. Like Charlie Brown get knocked over on the pitching mound. Stuff like that.
It's great. They literally have like different frame rates for different scenes, which is amazing. Kind of the same thing that Mad Max did in a way.
And by the way, I love how they obscured the little red hair girl properly. It's like if you pause it, you could probably see her, but you don't properly see her until the big reveal.
Yeah, sure.
Which that was honoring the classic stuff. They're really nice.
One other note, I didn't pick up on this at all, but this actually kind of makes me respect the Red Baron stuff a little more.
Yeah.
Animat, in his review, he was describing how you never see the bottom of the doghouse.
Yeah,
like
Doug
you always see
that too.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, you always see the top of the doghouse and Snoopy on it, but you never see like a full shot of just the doghouse flying around. And I'm like, oh my god, you're right, and that's great. That's like totally honoring the. Because if we saw like these dynamic, like full 360 shots of the doghouse just flying around, like How to Train Your Dragon style, I think it would be a little inauthentic.
Yeah, and of course they did the wise thing of not showing the adults or anything like that.
Oh, of course, that would be fucking lunacy if they did, and the adults were spot on. Every time they used the adults, it was great.
I mean, for me personally, I guess the animation, like, it was sort of almost there. It was a little too CG-ish in certain spots, like especially in some of the backgrounds and a lot of the Red Baron scenes, but...
I definitely think stylistically the Red Baron stuff sticks out from the rest of it.
Yeah.
It feels like, because the rest of it is so simple, it almost kind of looks like an illustration or something. Whereas the Red Baron, it kind of just opens up the landscape, and it's a lot more like three-dimensional. You know what I mean?
Even outside of the Red Baron stuff, it's kind of like you have these really stylized characters, and then direct-to-video CG backgrounds. That's a little.
I'm not gonna say direct-to-video CG. I think that's being harsh.
I wouldn't go.
Sorry. It's just kind of what came to mind, but...
All right.
Okay, so let's move on to our characters, unless you guys have anything else to add about the animation, which I think overall we'd really like.
Yeah, I absolutely adore the animation. But Monkey, I mean, you're fine to have your opinion. I don't want to be like, oh, Monkey, you're wrong. You're wrong.
I mean, the point is, it wasn't like they didn't fail with the animation, with like the transition from 2D to CG at all. The point is, it was consistent, if not better in some cases.
I think it was as good as it possibly could.
Yeah, it was definitely. Yeah, I don't think it quite reached that sweet spot, but it was definitely getting there.
Yeah. Okay.
It felt like Peanuts. That's the main thing. It felt like the Peanuts.
Oh yeah.
That's the important thing of all of it.
All right, so yeah, let's get to characters.
So let's start with Charlie Brown. What I loved about Charlie Brown in this interpretation is two things. It's one, I loved he had a great sense of morality. Like the world's against him, yet here's the aspect of I really love is that you can see that he gets so close. He gets taken away. Like he is capable of succeeding, but he makes the choice not to for the betterment of his others. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
That was just one of the most compelling things about it.
Especially.
Yes, I know. It was so moving, that Sally bit. It really was.
Yeah, the Sally thing was absolutely one of my favorite aspects of it.
And one thing I want to point out with some of our voice casts, very similar to way back during the Christmas Charlie Brown. We have all kids in our voice cast here, and of course I was continuing trying the Peanuts. It's an all kids voice cast for our characters, with the exception of the adults, which are played by trombonists.
The animals.
Well, of course, Bill Melendez and Frank Welker.
Not Frank Welker.
I heard Frank Welker was also involved. That's what I heard. I know I know Snoopy's Bill Melendez. I got that. I even heard a lot of Woodstocks. I don't know. I saw Frank Welker's also involved in it. I
did not know Frank Welker was involved at all. I never heard that.
I don't know if it was like other sound effects, but I saw his name somewhere involved.
I guess it's possible. And then of course Kristen Chenoweth as Fifi.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, how do you Kristen Chenoweth? Don't wrong. Fantastic names with that.
Like I had no idea it was her until the end credits. So
exactly. Yeah. Plus, you gotta remember it's kind of an archive.
Wait, the Red Baron got Tiki.
Now he'll be back. You just gotta kind of wipe away the little bullet holes in the doghouse. He'll be fine. Anyway, so
Tiki, you're back from the Red Baron.
Yes, I'm back from the distracting side plot that has nothing to do with the rest of the story.
It's inspired by the story.
Well, it's like, hey, here's some symbolic layering for you. Yeah.
We gotta remember, archival audio is fantastic to have. They can't get you everywhere, so sometimes there might be some sound alerts.
Yes. It's like if you didn't know that he was died, you'd think that he was just doing it exclusively for this movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like so seamlessly integrated.
Anyway, so with the voices, like Charlie Brown's voice though, like it takes a moment for him to grow on you, because he was kind of noticeably, again, with like a new voice cast for the Peanuts. It's been many years. Of course, there's going to be some differences in the voices we kind of grow up with per each iteration of the Peanuts, especially because they do have to change the voice cast because the kids grow up.
Of course.
Kids grow up.
Tell that to Peter Pan from the Geico commercial.
But in this case, Charlie Brown was a voice that initially struck me as very different. But just the minute it takes him on the girl, and but really sells you on, just instantly kind of gets you to accept is that the representation of Charlie Brown in this movie is so accurate to the core of Charlie Brown. It works. Like anything a little off of that, it just completely wipes away because you're sucked into this kid's journey.
Yeah.
To this kid's arc.
Hmm.
So, should we move on to Linus? Or I'm sorry, anything you guys want to say about Charlie Brown?
No, you nailed it. I mean, I think we can just kind of spitball through the rest of them because they don't really have a lot of, they don't really have big arcs, but I really do feel like one of the big selling points of this movie is that every single major Peanuts character is here and well represented and perfectly voice acted, and it's fucking amazing.
If I may, I guess it's sort of Charlie Brown related. I'm gonna mention it somewhere. Maybe here's okay, but so that bit where he's with the little kid and he's talking about the kite, like it's not for everyone's. It may have a mind of its own. It can be frustrating, but if you're determined, you can do it. Anyone else kind of feel that might be sort of a metaphor for life?
Actually, I think it might be on something there.
That was one of my favorite scenes, by the way.
Well, I think there's a lot of subtext like that in the movie, which I'm going to kind of get to when we get kind of towards the end there. But totally. I think that's the purpose of the movie. It's a simple story, but there's a lot of this kind of deep meaning if you really pry enough. Obviously, if the kids can like it, but even if you're an adult, which what Charlie Brown and the Peanuts does in essence, that it has all these kind of kids with neuroses. It's got all these big problems and big kind of issues underneath the surface there, and I think it's
basically child psychology in the form of a comic strip.
Yeah.
For 5 cents.
It's a bargain too. Anyways, so Linus for me, Linus I thought was on the money perfect. I mean, the voice acting, the characterization. I mean, the lunchroom. I like how the lunchroom is kind of our wall scenes. That was the homage to the classic wall scene with these two guys. Yeah. And I love just Charlie Brown acknowledging this. I should have listened to you from the start. And he's like, give him like Linus is this dude.
Actual wall at the end.
I'm sorry.
And then of course the actual wall near the end.
Certainly that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think the voice actor for Linus is just almost creepy how accurate he is.
Oh yeah.
I have to say, probably, I think they absolutely nailed all the female characters in this movie. Just down the line, the female roles are just, they're so good.
Like, Lucy had great comedy, and she was...
I'm a little on Lucy's voice actor, but...
I'm kind of with you, but again, I think the characterization guy sells you on it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that the voice, it wasn't the most convincing voice out of the cast, but at the same time, I really loved her dynamic in this movie. I love the whole her having to come to grips with Charlie Brown being popular and that being a major moral dilemma for her. I thought that was a perfect story.
I love that Lucy in this movie, she represented she was kind of the embodiment of the universe against Charlie Brown, yet she wasn't bullying Charlie Brown. She wasn't kind of bullying him or doing anything like that. She just kind of represented oh no, Charlie, you can never succeed.
Right. She's misguided, and she's always just kind of been the misguided youth who's, who thinks she's more intelligent than she really is. You know what I mean? That's always kind of been her character.
Again, it's a great thing that she's that opposition of no, things can't change. And I can't be. Of course, you do see her with the striped shirt. It's I knew I was right. I love Charlie Brown.
That was definitely one of the biggest laugh out loud moments in the movie.
What?
I love Charlie Brown.
When she's wearing the shirt and then she has to pull off the shirt I knew I shouldn't have worn your shirt, Charlie Brown.
I love the fact.
What do you mean, pretty face? You saying I don't have a pretty face? I love that.
Yeah, she had a lot of good moments.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's they absolutely do not make her into an antagonist in any way, shape, or form, which is impressive.
There's no, it's kind of funny how, again, bringing up Inside Out again, neither really have an antagonist. It's kind of weird.
No, absolutely not, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. With Inside Out, I think that stuck out more than it did here. Inside Out, there's no real villain.
Well, I mean, Red Baron.
With this, what?
Well, Red Baron.
No.
Not
Hey,
counting.
that thing shredded the papers. That was a mean thing to do.
And then this one is like
the fair point. That was kind of like the low of low moments. Of the
That got
movie.
Charlie Brown to the low point, okay? I'm just saying that was a villainous act. And I mean, Snoopy's a bad guy, too. He kidnapped the girlfriend. That's technically our villain.
Is the one who started up the plane.
I know. I think it's very interesting, by
Worst
the way.
enemy?
Yes. I
Yeah,
love how...
Just in terms of paying homage to Schulz, I love how they. This is one of the things we were definitely very afraid of when we were speculating. Good job for not showing the Red Baron, like the actual face. Good job on that.
It's like there's a little thumbs up that's easy to miss during the credits, but yeah.
Well, I just didn't want to see his face.
Fair enough, yeah. But yes, I was saying, like, there's like, oh, I guess there wasn't really a villain. Now that you mention it, I guess that is the case. That was a bit more subtle noticing that.
Is there ever really a villain in Charlie Brown? I mean, besides
I mean, bully kids and like when they went to Bon Voyage or
the River Run episode,
the river rafting one. That was they had a bad guy.
where it was basically like the Karate Kid gang.
Yeah. Remember the guys that they were doing the raft race and they had like the engine.
Wax on, wax off, Charlie Brown. And he's taught by Mr. Snoop Yagi.
Actually, I could totally picture a special like that.
I could just imagine Snoopy like a Fu Manchu mustache or something, just like training Charlie Brown, like doing the little crane pose, and like Lucy as his like
Peppermint Patty Morita.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
By the way, if I may, I love that this movie has both Patty and Peppermint Patty.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. That's great. Again, I feel like that's very Lego Movie-esque. You know what I mean? That they're diving into like these obscure characters that only fans like us know about.
I think it's TV Tropes that said how TV Tropes. It's pretty appropriate that Shermie is being a mime for the talent show, considering how little he'd speak in later things.
Oh yeah. Okay, Peppermint Patty, what do we think of her?
The voice acting on Peppermint Patty, not as raspy as I'd like it to be, but she was okay.
I thought she did fine. Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun in this one.
Mm-hmm.
When she gets the alarm clock with the hockey stick, that gets me so much. It's like one of the biggest laughs in this thing for me.
Yeah, I like how
Leo's Toy Store.
Oh god. Marcy's kind of depicted as like the quietly like brilliant one here.
Oh yeah.
Which she's always been. Okay, I gotta say, probably my two favorites were maybe Sally and Schroeder.
Sally was good. I think Schroeder was used excellently for like comedic timing, and I loved how he got to play the piano during the Fox logo.
That was fucking amazing.
And I love that he has a piano in his desk.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw him over the 20th Century Fox, I was like, oh my god.
Awesome.
I love how at the end he gets all dramatic. He's like, "Du-du-du-du."
Yeah.
I think the trailer even gave that away.
Well, the trailer, you saw him, but we didn't know if he was going to be playing with the 20th Century Fox.
I wasn't even watching that trailer until after the movie. You know me. This movie, I think, has fueled my trailer paranoia. It's funny, I was getting out of the theater on the way to the car, and I was wondering, that bit where Snoopy looking through the binoculars, and it's really Marcy, that got one of the biggest laughs out of the movie. What are the odds it was in the trailer? I looked, it's in the trailer.
Okay, no, the thing about that was it was literally like in the before the movie, like, they had like, oh, the Peanuts movie, here's a special first look at the Peanuts movie. And no, it did show that exact gag with Marcy and the glasses.
I missed that.
Real quick, let me just talk about Snoopy. Real quick. I know we kind of mentioned him, but let me just say, with his characterization, I thought Snoopy was great. Very loyal and supportive. Of course, not fully. I mean, he's a dog after all, eating all the cupcakes. You can't fight his nature all the time.
One.
He saved the one, yeah, but only because he was caught. Come on.
He offers it afterwards.
That was nice, but he still ate the rest. But yeah, I'm just saying it's his nature, though. I mean, it doesn't mean he's not loving and supportive. It's like he's still a dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what I loved just the bit where he's walking Charlie Brown away after his book report defeat. You know, it's in the trailer again. Why did I blow shots at the trailer? But it was nice though. just him bit with like Snoopy consoling Charlie Brown walking away. Like, it's just that little behind shot, really nice.
I really did think that the way they captured Sally was probably one of the best incarnations of the character since like It's a Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown or something.
Great
like
Pumpkin
that.
was fun with Sally.
Yeah, because I think here they just hit like a really good mix of her naive, crazy, and sweet all at the same time. And that's Sally Brown to a T, and I think that they did a really good job with it.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. Okay, well, of course, we saw we had some great pig pen gags.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Well, I know you. Have we ever seen him clean before?
Never. I can't remember us ever seeing him clean.
Unless you count Dog Sees God.
I was thinking that. Yeah, not counting that.
But even though they have the big roles, I mean, the rest of them were accurately represented for the screen time they did have. You know, Franklin got some cool dance moves.
Yeah, but once again, Franklin's got to.
Did you see Black Nerd's review of this movie?
No.
No.
He comments like how they give all these little extra, like, if somebody needs to say a line, they always give it to Franklin.
That's kind of true.
What's wrong with that?
You like how they used Franklin in this.
Yeah.
But there was no old Tom.
Yeah, I know.
No, there's no Tom.
Good
I
old
don't
Tom.
think
Well, how do
it's
you know?
Tom.
Have we never seen Tom? Have we just heard Tom?
We saw him in Muppet Treasure Island.
Not that Tom. The other good old
I think he's off chasing some mouse. Let's hope they don't sing.
Really. Anyway.
Anyway.
So let's talk about the score and the music. So in terms of the score, I mean, we had a great Chris Beck score. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to be up for, like, best original score because it certainly reuses a lot of old Peanuts music and remixes it and really kind of, just puts it... It's basically just kind of like all the little bits and pieces of Peanuts you love with some new stuff mixed in there, which works very well. Overall, I thought it was good.
Yeah, it's got some Groldy in there. What I like most, I really like this theme that comes out in two particular tracks of it. The original stuff, not just of the new stuff, not just the original stuff. That's obviously just fantastic here after a long time. I love it's in the Fifi theme, just like during the Red Baron stuff, but in this has this really kind of great kind of fantastic old-timey score in there, like da, 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 it feels like kind of like an Errol Flynn type music cue. I really like it, and what I like about it is that it also gels in with the Charlie Brown theme. So what I'm saying with the Red Baron stuff is that it kind of, I like how the Red Baron stuff parallels Charlie Brown stuff when he's writing. I like that.
Yeah.
And with that, though, I can kind of see little hints and nods of it, like within the stuff. Like the music sounds a little similar to this great bit that's in the good old Charlie Brown segment. It's like the last, basically the confronting little red-haired girl. That's what the score is during that scene. I think it's a great kind of ending bit of the score there. It's whimsical, triumphant theme. Like there's a bit, and there's really this great triumphant build it gets to after this great sense of whimsy. It's very emotional. I really liked it.
I think every time they use the Linus and Lucy theme, it's freaking perfect.
But I mean, it's like within that triumphant theme, though, like at the end, it's just like Charlie Brown made it. That's what's communicated in this music. He made it.
I
like that. It gives me a nice feeling.
Yeah, pop songs are out of place, but they could be worse.
Yeah, at least they're not too modern.
There's 2 pop songs in there, and I didn't really mind either of them.
Yeah.
The one from the trailer I was already prepared for, and that was fine. I thought it was used fine. And I actually kind of decently like the dancing one. I think that's actually a decent song.
Yeah, it was fine.
I'm not saying like it's like, oh my god, it's such a good fucking song. Holy shit. But I'm like, no, it's not offensively bad. It's catchy enough. It's mellow. It's kind of got this sort of mellow beat to it. It's, I enjoyed it for what it was.
Okay, so what were our pros for the movie?
just how goddamn much this feels like Schulz, and I think
Yeah.
Schulz would be proud of this movie.
Yeah, it says by Schulz in the title card.
Well, yeah.
Just mentioning. And then, of course, that signature at the end. My
Yeah.
God.
You know, like there's some great comedy, and there's good comedy and great heart. You know, you root for Charlie Brown. There's not a hint of sappiness because
I mean, I guess some people are unsure on like if it should have ended with him winning or whatever, how they tackled it. I mean, I feel like it was pretty earned. I feel they did fine with it.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. It's you root for them. They're successful because you relate to them so much at that point in the movie, and they get you there. It's not a hint of sadness with that. Anyway, here's the big thing. It's like it's smart enough. I was so impressed by this. The movie was smart enough to allow Charlie Brown to change just enough without letting him succeed too much. You know, I mean, we see in the movie. One, he has the ability to succeed, again, with stuff like the Magic Act and like all these opportunities where he succeeds for a moment, and of course it's taken away from him by some circumstance, but he has the ability to succeed, which is an advancement for Charlie Brown,
too. Like, because of these sacrifices, like when he decides to do the thing for Sally, I like how, like, when that, even though he's, like, I mean, before the sheet falls off, of course, but even before, like, even during it, he's just given up this chance to do this, I'm assuming, pretty good magic act. He does this silly cow thing, and he's still glad to help his sister. Like, he still has that smile when she says, "Thank you, big brother."
And that was all. That right there, that whole "thank you, big brother" thing. That was probably the most like, aww moment that I got in the whole movie. I thought that was like just really heartwarming. I thought that was a really good scene.
Yeah, and secondly, you know, he gets to fly the kite, but again, smartly, he doesn't exactly. He doesn't fly it personally. There are two moments where he flies a kite, but not him personally.
Yeah.
Right.
Which again is a great balance of not advancing him too much. He can't succeed too much, but allowing him to succeed just a little. And of course, he gets acknowledged by the little red-haired girl. You know.
Yeah, like I feel again, just going back to this ending, like I feel like
it's bittersweet that the little redhead girl's leaving for the summer, though.
It's for the summer. She'll be back.
But she's writing him. That's the important part.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's kind of a bittersweet thing.
If I may, I swear it's a happier version of the Dog Sees God ending. Let's reassure Charlie Brown on his positive qualities from his pen pal.
Oh my God, you're absolutely wow.
Okay,
Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's weird. That's the only part of the movie that makes me think of Dog Sees God. The only part that makes me think Dog Sees God during the movie.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. The pen pal thing, and then the reassurance of him. Oh man. Oh.
Well, here's the most.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, something I like about the ending is how everyone is watching. I'm guessing he's sort of aware that they're watching. Maybe he's before he even knows that little redhead girl's gonna say the whole his positive qualities thing. There's the total chance for this to crash and burn with everyone watching.
Well, they're used to it by now.
He still goes for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I admire that so much.
Yeah. Anyway, so what was kind of the biggest stroke of brilliance of the movie is that, of course, people are probably wondering, where is it throughout the movie, and of course you got a little taste of it in the black and white kind of thought bubble. But of course, you finally get the football gag, which is a brilliant move to put it right after the movie. It's just to show the folks, to reassure them, Charlie Brown succeeded, but,
Yeah, I was wondering if he would get to kick it, because, he's on that high, and, of course, from a medicine.
Oh, in the theater, I was like, "Oh, he better not fucking kick it."
Let me share.
And also, sort of in the meta sense, well, this has been honoring Schulz, and he did regret not letting him kick the football, but I think that he won't. He probably won't. But the chances there, he probably won't. Okay, he didn't. But yeah, they do. The timing of that and the execution of it are pretty good.
Yeah, that was a perfect thing to put as a big credit sequence, because it wouldn't really work anywhere else in the movie.
Yeah,
Speaking of the credits, did you guys see the scene after all the credits?
Yeah.
Yeah, just double checking.
Right, it's brilliant because it keeps them in check, and it keeps keeps him alive as a character because, again, as you mentioned, Monkey, that was Schultz's biggest regret. He never allowed him to kick the football because, the minute he kicks the football, he's dead. It's like what Robert Downey Jr. said in Chaplin, as a Charlie Chaplin. There's this great bit in the movie where he says, the minute the tramp speaks, he's dead. It's the same thing for Charlie Brown. The minute he kicks the football or gets that notable, that's the gay people know him for. Not kicking the football. The minute he kicks that football, he's dead as a character. He has no more moss to grow, so to speak. He's got no more growth.
But he still smiles afterward.
He does.
Yeah. So
it's like a mainstream thing like this. It was a very good decision for them to not do that.
Yeah. Okay, so the cons. So
Red Baron.
Okay, so let me say this.
Red Baron. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So let me say this on the Red Baron, okay? The Red Baron stuff, okay? So I think...
Is Fifi in the comics, first of all?
No, Fifi, to my knowledge.
I think there's something of her, although she looks different or something.
Because it kind of irritates me if they're just kind of playing fast and loose with inventing her.
I think she's invented.
I'm pretty sure there's something where they said that because there's so many characters, they won't be adding any new ones for the movie.
Yeah, I know you told me that, but still.
Yeah. So I guess they sort of reinvented the character or something. Like, took some really obscure character, put her in a new context.
Okay, pro of Fifi, she's voiced by Kristen Chenoweth, and Kristen Chenoweth is awesome.
And she was in the revival of Good Man Charlie Brown.
Yeah. Although I didn't really care for her role there. I won't get into that. But I let's just say I think this was a much better representation of Sally than was in that play. But I thought Sally was a bit of a brat in You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
Well, she wasn't even in it at first.
Right.
So, about the World War I flying ace stuff. I think majority of it, I like the way it was worked in with the whole, the Snoopy as the writer. It made sense. It's a writing device. That's how you get to see Snoopy writing, and they parallel.
It was working fine. I had absolutely no problem with the way it was worked in. The one thing that I had a problem with was they just kept cutting to it, and it would go on for longer than anything else in the movie. And I really do feel like if you broke down this movie, 1/3 of the whole movie is Red Baron stuff, and I think that's a problem.
Well, let me. I don't think it took up much time except for. I don't think it took up that much time except for one scene. One scene is where it kind of drew the line. It's not bad at all. Just the stuff out of context, not bad. The way it's worked in eats up a little screen time for this one particular bit for me. I can accept the rest of it except for one bit. I mean, the stuff I do accept is that I like how it's parallels the trials of Charlie Brown, kind of like in Watchmen. I have the Black Freighter story. Kind of
it actually did remind me of the Black Freighter stuff. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And of course, what I like.
And of course, I was thinking Matilda the musical.
Yeah. And I like just kind of
done much better than in that show.
Yes, and I like in essence, it's Charlie Brown. It's with a demon in essence he created with the model plane. I like that's a perfect way to parallel it. Anyway, so. I can accept the World War I flying stuff, except for one scene where I'll admit, it really doesn't work here because it's kind of going out of that logic that's been established, and then it's eating up time because it detracts from our story. All the other stuff, here it is. Sorry. So basically, it's the one scene where basically homaging the Great Pumpkin Adventure, where Snoopy's just going around just on his own after. I want to say it's right after Charlie Brown. It's right after the Red Baron destroys the paper.
Yeah, so you mean when he's going around and it's keeps coming back to the imagination and what's really happening?
Yeah, that one. I mean, don't get me wrong, great stuff and great homage to Great Pumpkin, but out of place entirely, that one. Because, again, it's not within the writing context, it's just, it's a whole another story, which detracts from stuff.
I totally agree.
I'm good with that one, I think.
Yeah, it's not bad, it's just out of place.
I think
out of place, but...
Yeah.
So let's see any other. Again, it's very little.
I guess it doesn't bother me as much, but I won't deny they probably could have definitely shortened some of the Red Baron stuff.
Well, you know why they put it in there? It had to get some action into the movie.
Yeah, I mean,
that's
that's my whole thing though. Is I felt like it was very transparent with that. You know what I mean? Like, I felt it was very transparently like, oh, we need to have action. We need to have this exciting set piece in here. And it just didn't jive with the rest of the themes of the movie for me. And that's what really threw me off about it.
I don't know. I think it might be, again, maybe the message underneath, which again, Peanuts is really great at, kind of a message underneath, is that, even the mundane things, it feels like a grand adventure.
It's like, I'm not saying that...
But that's exactly what I'm saying, though. I'm sorry, Monkey, go ahead.
I mean, it's like, I don't think that it should not have been in there, but, yeah, they probably should have cut it down, like, made it so it didn't take up as huge of chunks.
It absolutely should be there, yeah. I mean, the Red Baron stuff is kind of a quintessential thing of the Peanuts. I'm not saying it shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
I just think, like, I don't think of the Peanuts as, like, some big, grand, epic adventure. I just don't. And whenever the Peanuts do try and do stuff like that, or even when the Peanuts try and introduce some sort of supernatural element or something like that, it always falls flat on its face. So I just, like, making it into as action-heavy of a thing as it was just really didn't do it for me. It just didn't. It was just, I don't know, there was just so much, it felt like it was trying to ape How to Train Your Dragons in a way. Like just something like that.
I don't see it going that far. Yeah, you're right. It could be trimmed down even what we do have that, is fitting within what we got there, but... Yeah. Anyway, but two other points I got for cons are very minor. Again, I think all our cons are just minor things, even with the Red Baron stuff. Great stuff, just worked in.
The Red Baron stuff is what keeps it from being like the perfect Peanuts movie. You know what I mean?
Right. Anyway, so two other things. Again, you have to get used to some of the voices, but the other one's just like it's on us personally, the big fans of the Peanuts. Like, you gotta get used to it. I mean, I'm sure kids watching this for the first time are gonna love it.
Uh-huh.
Other thing, for me, looking at the story objectively, Peppermint Patty's integration into the story, it's not as natural as the others. It's just her integration of the story. I mean, it's fun, don't get me wrong, but it's just like the whole smile. That was some people fault the movie for being predictable. I don't view it that way, except for this one bit, except for the test bit, because you knew that was coming at some point, and that kind of bugs me. It doesn't like take me out of the movie. It's just like it's coming. That,
it was kind of like a liar reveal kind of thing.
Yeah, but thankfully they took a very smart route with it, thankfully.
Sort of, but dealt with better than sort of the regular cliche.
Yeah, that's the only thing. There are other things, like, there's not really a resolution to it, like saying, oh, it's alright, Chuck, no problem. Like, nothing like that following. She's like, she's asleep when she gets the thing. It's not a big fault, it's just like, yeah, Peppermint Patty could have been, that little thing could have been adjusted a little bit, but it's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, so some favorite moments.
Favorite moments. Anything with Schroeder. I mean, I think he was like this. He stole the show, I think.
Well, name some moments.
Well, I don't know. Like, when Snoopy pops out, and, it's just the classic bit where Snoopy pops out when he's playing, and he just looks all annoyed at Snoopy. We brought up the 20th Century Fox theme. Just the fact that he has a piano at his desk. I just think he doesn't have the biggest role, but it's like they knew how fun of a character Schroeder could be if they used him well, and they definitely used him well. Okay, other than that, let's see. One of my favorite moments is definitely the homage to Christmas Time Is Here.
Yeah.
That was fucking amazing. I knew it was going to be in there because I read a review that mentioned it, but oh my god, the way they do it with Snoopy and Snoopy singing.
I gotta tell you, I think the singing was the Frank Weller ad for Snoopy. I'm convinced of that. So I don't think that one's Bill Melendez audio.
I agree, but it's fine either way.
Yeah.
Totally works for the joke. Anytime that they did a callback, like Lucy did the whole dog germs thing, I think at least twice in this movie.
Yeah.
Get some disinfectant, get some iodine.
Yep.
Just Lucy in general, just being totally envious and not knowing how to handle Charlie Brown being popular. I thought that was great. Just the small characters like Shermie and Violet and regular non-Peppermint Patty just getting straight. Just in general, it's just what I love the most, and my favorite parts of this movie was just how much it related to Schulz.
like, even in the midst of the big emotional climax, it's just as Charlie's pointing out, yeah, I'm usually seen as a failure, and you get, like, Violet nodding, oh yeah, he certainly is.
Right.
You know?
Which actually is a good callback to the very first Peanuts strip.
Yep. Oh, good old Charlie Brown, how I hate him.
How I hate him.
I think it's Violet and Shermie, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think so.
Jeremy and... Was it Patty?
It might be Patty.
It could have been Patty. It could have been.
Yeah, I think it was Patty with the hairstyle was down.
That is like the perfect way to like set the tone for the entire penis to follow.
Oh yeah.
Oh dear God.
So here are some of my moments here. So a few of them.
Can I point out really quick? I also just love all the bits with Woodstock, and I think that was like some of the stuff that was most resembling the spirit of the original in terms of like they got that spot on. It's exactly how it felt like in the shorts.
Well, that's also like a big pro too. Like Snoopy and Woodstock, they were like on fire on all cylinders. Those guys were fantastic.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Their chemistry is great. Their old comedy, like when they're writing the stuff and he's getting caught in the machine, funny stuff, good stuff. So a few moments here. So. Charlie, again, as we mentioned before, Charlie Brown having a handle over the magic, but, he chooses to help his sister. That's just a great moment. Again, you haven't really seen it with Charlie Brown before, the sacrifices he's willing to endure and that sort of thing. Like, moment, never saw Charlie Brown, I was instantly sucked in when that happened. Like, oh my God, it's going to be great.
Oh, yeah.
So also as I mentioned, kind of the lunchroom chat with Linus and kind of just those kind of wall scene and the homages to the wall scene, those were nice. There's two other moments. Charlie Brown pulling a Jim Gordon at the assembly, I love so much.
What?
He basically when he confessed to everyone, he didn't just like do the lying thing where they put the thing in his back pocket. You think, oh no, Charlie Brown, don't go down this road. He says, it's been really great, guys, but I got to be honest with you, I'm not the one who scored. He basically pulls a very honorable, moral move here. Yeah, that to me, it's like a very Jim Gordon. But I was like, oh man, such a Jim Gordon.
Is there ever going to be a podcast we record that doesn't have a Jim Gordon reference?
Is there ever going to be more than 2 podcasts where you don't make a Lost reference?
We haven't made a Lost reference on this one until you brought it up, so thanks. All right, anyways, I'm sorry. Reference Gordon all you want. It's good.
Also, the ending, I think the ending is absolutely perfect and very moving. The ending is just, I can rewatch the ending over and over again. It's so beautiful, I thought.
Monkey, favorite moments?
So, yeah, the ending definitely, like, it's such a happy ending. It's a very, as I've said, like that. Like the ending is one of the things that sticks out the most to me. Like say,
I kind of wish they sang happiness at the end. I'm not gonna lie.
I was waiting for them to say "You're a good man, Charlie Brown."
That would have also been good.
I was also waiting to hear Thurl Ravenscroft sing "No Dogs Allowed," but yeah, I can't.
But we had a reference to it. No dogs allowed. I was expecting a little more Joe Cool, by the way. I just wanted to point that out. I was expecting a little more Joe Cool.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that Snoopy didn't overwhelm the school scenes, too, though, because we already had a lot of Snoopy.
But they did the binder gag.
They did.
Oh, should we mention like Easter eggs real quick, too? I'm sorry, not to cut off.
Yes, we're gonna...
Yeah, Monkey, go really quick.
One of my favorite things, sorry, Dragon, but that whole thing of Snoopy going around, like, the mix between imagination and reality. Like, I'm sorry, but stuff like, say, in the tub.
It was good. I liked it. I just didn't think we needed it.
But yeah, like, seriously, like, that bit where the binoculars and then it cuts to him on Morrissey's glasses, that bit makes me laugh so hard. Yeah, like you said, the confessing to the test mix-up, like, that's super honorable of him. I just think they did a really fine job with it. And I guess, if I may say, I file it under pros also, and I swear I thought of this before watching Doug's review, so I'm not stealing it from him. The fact that the movie is G.
Yeah, no, that absolutely is great.
Yeah, like you don't really realize there's no bodily humor until afterwards. You're thinking about, no, I can't recall a single
nothing
moment of bodily humor in his life.
But you know what? I saw this movie twice, and both times there were over half the audience was adults. Like, I think this movie has a really big sort of market for people our age who grew up with the special, and even people our parents' age. You know what I mean? I think it's got a big demographic. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised to see it beat Skyfall at the box office at some point.
Not Skyfall, Tiki.
Spectre.
Spectre, excuse me. Because Spectre hasn't gotten very good word of mouth, and this is getting incredibly good word of mouth. So, how was Spectre, Dragon?
I unfortunately haven't seen it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
But yes, I'm trying to think. Like, the last G-rated movie I can remember is, I think, Monsters U.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
2 years ago.
And even that was just kind of eh. Dragon, you sound very annoyed right now.
Well.
What? I'm sorry, what's wrong? I feel like I offended you accidentally.
Oh, no. I'm just now, so I like Monsters University, so moving on. So, what are some of our let's list off our Easter eggs.
Okay, I don't know. What else? We've already been listing off quite a few. What else did you guys catch?
Let's see. So obviously, War and Peace, New Year's reference there.
Of course.
Mendelssohn and Melendez movers.
Very nice. Very nice. Again, the comic you pointed out there. Little folks. There was again the Great Pumpkin reference towards the beginning. And just the whole journey, Snoopy, imagination journey.
Pencil?
There was. Oh yeah.
Doesn't it at some point doesn't? I'm sorry, Monkey. Shoot,
Is that thing about little red-haired girl biting her pencil? Is that from a strip?
I want to say yes.
Wait, was it in Valentine, Charlie Brown?
Yeah, I want to say.
I know it's in the musical, definitely.
Not a lot of Easter Beagle references, I noticed. Unless you guys caught anything I did.
Unfortunately, which pisses me off, because you know I would have caught like every single Easter Beagle reference they threw my way.
Of course, there's the snow at the beginning.
Like maybe during one of these scenes in the summer, like they pass by a store and there's all the Christmas decorations in there.
Of course, just the opening snowfall and and of course the.
Oh, another favorite scene, the kite scene.
Yes. Yeah, the kite eating tree.
Which, by the way, I thought was such a sweet moment that, in a way, the kite-eating tree helped Charlie Brown out in the end. That was, his worst enemy helped him out.
I was saying I meant it was with the little kid. Helping the little kid with the kite is what I meant.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
In Santa Rosa, at Snoopy's home ice, there is a kite-eating tree. No, I'm not. It's like a tree with a bunch of kites just hanging on it. It's awesome.
I think one of the new Camp Snoopy rides in Nuts is themed to the kite-eating tree.
That's cool.
Like one of the ones they put in last year.
Of course, we saw all of Snoopy's relatives for a scene. We got all those guys: Spike, Olaf, the whole gang.
I think at some point Patty says that the only thing Charlie Brown's good at is making sandwiches.
Well, no, toast.
Or making toast.
Says the only thing he can cook is toast.
Yeah, we had the Thanksgiving reference with that.
I caught that. I caught the Thanksgiving reference.
The phone conversation, just Patty just kind of wrapping them into making something. That not really anything came of that. But it was like another little mini failure for Charlie Brown along the way.
Right.
But yeah, so only thing I can make is toast. But he pulled it off impressively. He made cupcakes. Good for Charlie Brown.
You never see the toast.
Well, no, he didn't bring the toast. He probably made it, but he didn't bring it. They don't want toast.
Fucking toast hoarder. You're a fucking toast hoarder, Charlie Brown.
And besides, if they did bring the toast, then Franklin would get offended because it would remind him of the days where he was segregated.
Oh, for you again? You. Okay.
He's sitting on the other side of the.
I told you
everyone else.
Everyone had a placement there.
Yeah, everyone had a placement, and the black kid's placement
wasn't intentional. For the last time, it was not segregated.
And by the way, Van Tassel owns slaves. Don't go into his trapdoor.
I was avoiding mentioning that.
Can we not?
2 weeks without that.
Now someone pass me Darwin's foot and let's get on with it.
Can you stop giving people slaves and eating monkeys?
I will never stop people giving slaves eating monkeys.
Don't
Or
blame
apes,
him,
I
it's the
guess.
far's fault.
Okay, so
Blue Dude and his cards.
I mean, let me just
you're a racist pig, Charlie Brown.
okay, that's it.
No, that's Matt.
Of course, we got the canvas for some of our mailbox stuff. We didn't really look for any longing letters or anything, but that's about it, reference-wise. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? I'm sure there's
the baseball
stuff that we're
mound.
missing, though. I'm sure this is one of those movies that we're going to go back and we're going to find stuff the more we watch it. You know what I mean?
Of course.
Okay.
So I guess you want to talk about a little bit of Scratastrophe. Not a lot to say on it, but
I just seen it. Just reminded me, like, oh, we're seeing a Blue Sky product. Yeah.
The Scratch shorts have always been consistently good.
No, it was fine. It was fine. I like the creativity of it. I wish this was the last we ever saw of Ice Age, because that would be a beautifully ironic way to end.
Unfortunately, they're actually giving this one purpose. It's actually going to be the unspoken lead-in to Ice Age.
Okay, well, in that case, I hope that Ice Age is just like Ice Age Extinction. They're all dead. It's just like the series finale of the dinosaur show.
Wouldn't it be? It'd be such a brilliant move. It's like, okay, a little cameo with Ray Romano, Dennis Leary, John Leguizamo just saying, "Oh, look, a meteor! Did you get your wish? Oh, I can't, sure, which is brilliant. I love that. That was hilarious. That little bit there. And of course, there's the kind of subtext of like, well, if you don't like the Ice Age movies and you're tired of them, well, the implications that they're not coming back. Of course, they aren't coming back. Unfortunately, kind of kills that, but
But hey, it gave us some hope, right? It gave us some hope. It's like, those characters are gonna die. That's such a hopeful, inspiring ending.
But now they're gonna suffer painfully when they die.
That's right. Yeah, they are gonna suffer painfully.
It's a much worse fate than meteorite
And
death.
Scrat's on the space station, and he's fine, and he's always been the only part of that franchise that's been like endearing throughout the whole thing. So,
You killed the Earth, Scratty Brown.
Okay.
Yeah, funny. I mean, I never saw Ice Age 4, so I don't know if that one.
Oh, I haven't seen anything past the original Ice Age.
Well, no, I've seen them up to 3 because I just couldn't get 4 looked terrible and I couldn't.
I just could not get into 2. I think I watched like 20 minutes of 2, and
let's be fair here. The first 3 Ice Age movies actually aren't that bad.
Seriously, I can't really say either way.
Ice Age was just a standalone movie back in 2002 with older CGI and human characters and Grat before he was famous.
I think the first Ice Age movie's good. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
I think the first Ice Age movie's really solid.
But seriously, the other 2 aren't bad. Like 2 is about better than 3, but 3 is actually it looks impressive and it's kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
But then 4 is just
may have jumped the shark a bit with.
Yeah. Points 4 onwards. Like Wanda Sykes is where I draw the line. Like, no, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, so sequel talk, guys.
Okay, do you guys think this will get a sequel? Because it's certainly doing well at the box office, competing against Bond. I have a chance that I think it does have a chance this weekend, if not to beat Bond, but to be closer to Bond than it was last weekend.
Let me. Sorry.
No, I just think I do think that this does have a really good shot at getting a sequel with all the respect this movie's been getting. It's certainly been getting better reviews than Spectre. So,
well, let me say this. So personally, I think they should leave it as the ultimate, not just, I don't want to say send off because that sounds like a little cruel, but I mean kind of like the ultimate kind of tribute to the Peanuts history and to what we love about the Peanuts. And like another one doesn't need to be made. That's what I personally think. However, of course it's going to get another one. I mean, well, it's one of Blue Sky's finest films. It's a huge name. It's
the best movie that Blue Sky's done.
Absolutely, it's going to get a sequel, whether I like it or not. But my main hesitation is I don't know where they can go from this. My worry is topping this without just without just cashing in. I mean, it has the Muppets nostalgia of the 2011 Muppets with the Lego Movie Heart, which is a great combination. This movie. Now, how do you top that?
I have some.
I'll go on.
If the next movie begins with the characters singing "We're doing a sequel."
Oh my god, that'd be
We're
awesome.
doing a sequel, Charlie Brown.
As long as it's not Snoopy singing.
Oh god. Oh god.
Remember that one, the Snoopy musical? I did not like that.
Okay, I do have some ideas. One of my ideas is to just straight up do vignettes.
That'd be nice.
Like, have it just be like a Winnie the Pooh, the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh, where it's just 3 vignettes. I think you could get a lot of mileage out of that, and I think with that, there's no real kind of expectation to exceed the original in terms of being a complete package or anything like that, because what we're getting is more so like these charming, shorter stories with these characters. We can maybe focus more on certain characters. Like, for example, one of the sketches could be a Peppermint Patty and Marcy sketch. I think that would be a good way to go, and I think with that, they could just keep making these things, and it'd be, as long as the writing and the voice acting is as consistent as it was with this movie, then hell, I'd be willing to sit through like 3 or 4 of those types of movies, as long as it's good and it respects Schulz.
Well, let me predict what the next one's going to be, and after Monkey, there's had some suggestions going through what I kind of hope it would be. So
okay.
I'm predicting the next one will probably be either based on another character, because this one was Charlie Brown's story. It might kind of go to another one. However, they could just stay safe with another kind of Charlie Brown / Snoopy plot, and commit to one setting. So I don't think it's going to be like going through all the seasons like this one did, and probably be fewer flying. I mean, they'll probably take some criticism, like fewer flying ace sequences. Probably.
I would hope so. Yeah, I would hope so.
And I think they're probably going to do more baseball gags, because if they commit to one setting, I don't think they're going to go for winter again. They'll probably just go for anything. Something non-snow related, because snow is hard.
Summer Vacation could work well for a plot.
That could also work, but I think Joe Cool might be a little more Joe Cool, less Christmas references, between the two, and maybe they'll go more like an Easter Beagle and Valentine's references with the movie.
Definitely work those Easter Beagle references in, specifically for me.
Because there were a lot of those
specifically for me.
They pretty much referenced everything else with the holiday special. I mean, those are kind of the 2 they could really kind of draw from for a few kind of references within there.
Okay, let me spitball a couple ideas, if I may. So, going off of the Summer Vacation thing, what if they did kind of a Recess School's Out kind of plot, where it's sort of about
you mean there's going to be an evil Muppet there's going to be an evil... Sorry. There's going to be an evil Peanut version of James Woods?
No.
That'd be kind of awesome.
I'm saying, how Recess School's Out had that whole sort of bittersweet feeling of the gang sort of drifting apart in a way?
Yeah.
I think maybe something like that could work. But at the same time, it's almost kind of like you don't want to have these characters evolve too much to the point where they're growing up too much. So that's the danger of that.
You can only do that story once.
Right. Also, what about something of Linus kind of finally coming to a realization about the Great Pumpkin and having it be Linus's story?
That might be kind of neat, putting Linus in the lead,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And having it be sort of like Linus sort of overcoming, like maybe start with the Great Pumpkin, I don't know.
Well,
I really would like to see not an adaptation of the Great Pumpkin, but just the Great Pumpkin used within the context of the story and not just mentioned. It was cool that it was mentioned. I love that it was mentioned, but I would like to see a story centered around the Great Pumpkin.
But something be kind of funny if they ever did do the growing up Charlie Brown, it'd be kind of hilarious if it was like they're talking to each other one day and it's like they're starting to grow, they're realizing that it's like, wait, Linus, what'd you say? What, Linus? And then he just kind of disappeared, it's like, Linus, where are you?
Or they could just adapt Dog Sees God in this animation style.
Dragon, were you referencing that one video?
I don't think so.
There was a video where that pretty much happened.
Oh, no, I wasn't referencing I was just getting over there off the top of my head.
Linus, we can't understand you, Linus!
Yeah, that seriously happens. Like,
I remember your parents are going deaf, Charlie Brown. I remember that one from Robot Chicken, I think it was. Yeah, you're deaf, Charlie Brown, or something like that.
Yeah, remind me to find it, like send it to you guys after the show, or I could look for now. Cause yeah, that's an actual thing where they're they're going through puberty, they start talking like that and disappearing.
That's awesome. That's amazing.
So, Monkey, you got any ideas?
Not really.
Nothing?
I'm sort of either way with the sequel. Like, yeah, it could have. Okay, maybe. I'm good either way with it. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll be good. I think it would be good. If they do make another one, I have faith in it.
Let me throw this out there for you guys. With the success of this film, and with that kind of like 2.5D animation style, and just how much it stayed faithful to the comics, do you think this kind of opens the door for potentially more movies based on beloved comic strips? And
you want
being
that
done well?
You want the one with the lion, don't you? You want the
Calvin and Hobbes.
Calvin and Hobbes. What you want to see, don't you?
That is technically, yes, what I want to see. It's not going to happen, though. It'll never happen.
Why?
Because the creator is steadfastly against it.
Ah, okay.
So it'll never happen. But having said that, seeing this movie definitely gave me like, oh man, I could totally see this kind of thing working for Calvin and Hobbes.
Well, you know, if I'm not mistaken, Calvin and Hobbes actually appeared in the Pixar movie.
Really?
Yeah, Toy Story 2. When Woody's up on the bookshelf, Andy has a book and little Calvin and Hobbes on it.
Oh, that's great. That's great. But no, actually, the thing that kind of went into my mind, in addition to Calvin and Hobbes, maybe perhaps the more realistic one, would be Garfield.
That would be nice.
Because think about it, because we like Garfield is in a place right now where he needs some redemption. You know what I mean? He needs like a Force Awakens style redemption arc. And so it'd be great to see like just an old school like, oh, there you go. Okay. It'd be great to see just this old school kind of like classic take on Garfield. None of the Bill Murray bullshit. None of the product placement. None of the current pop culture references. Just old school, fucking laid back, almost kind of like dark and depressing in a way in some spots style Garfield. I think that would be great. That would absolutely
involved and I am in.
What?
Get Pat Carroll involved and I'm in.
Yeah.
All right, now let me throw you guys my kind of what the only way I could see them topping the story is not doing your vignette idea, Tiki, which I do like.
Okay.
Here's the only way I could fathom they could do something really kind of Lego movie style meaningful that would be kind of consistent with this and still kind of be a meaningful story. It would be, I would love to see, because we got a hint of it in here, just a little hint of it. I'd like to see maybe expounded upon a little more. Just kind of we got another reference to the classic Peanuts of kind of the classic Charlie Brown awake in bed. Just kind of pondering life's questions to himself, which is always a very iconic.
Awakening, Charlie Brown.
Yes. But no, seriously, it would be kind of neat to see kind of Charlie Brown in the next movie, like ponder kind of the big questions, at night in bed, like kind of take that shot, with the subtext of the film surrounding it, just Charlie Brown pondering the big questions of what you would do with a sequel. What next? What do I do after? So Charlie's experienced a little bit of success. Your big question.
So it's almost kind of meta in a way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Kind of a meta thing, but also maybe here's what I'm getting at. In addition, just kind of the meta thing of like how do we top a sequel would be importantly paralleling maybe Charles Schulz's life. So what do you do after you taste a little bit of success there? Like the worries of making basically two big questions, like what next, or the worries of making your mark in this world. Like Charlie kind of coming to terms with that.
Okay, I like
paralleling the next chapter of Schulz's life after kind of struck gold with the Peanuts, and that being parallel through Charlie Brown's experience. Because of course Charlie Brown is kind of the cartoon embodiment of Charles Schulz.
I'm just imagining Lucy as an old woman standing over Charlie Brown's grave saying, I never let him kick the football.
Oh, it'd be sweet. It'd be dark and sweet. If, this is going to sound silly. If a grown-up Lucy, it's a foggy day at the graveyard, and he's just walking there, she's got like a blue bandana or something. He's just, the iconic Lucy looks there, but she's like a coat on. She's older. She's a little bit of gray in the hair, as you said. So just getting there, like, if a quiet scene, putting the hand on the grave, and he says, Charles Brown, so he's like looking there, kind of Citizen Kane-esque. Just kind of like, she's kind of weeping silently and just like out of her purse, she pulls out a football, just puts it on there, and says, "Take it all you want."
Oh man, oh
And
man.
then something below the tombstone kicks the football off the ground.
No, but no. Well, here's the kicker. So she walks away.
Kicker.
No, seriously. So she walks away, and like the football just like it tilts, like it rolls over a little bit, and she looks back, gives a little smirk, and she walks off.
Nice.
Yeah. But seriously, there's like this idea for a movie that I like to see. Basically, what do you do after a taste of success? What would Charlie Brown do logically after he doesn't completely lose all hope? That there's the moment of like things worked out a little bit. So what do you do next after that moment of success? Do you keep going, or do you just stagnate?
No, I do think that would be a good kind of direction to go with the sequel, because it's kind of like it's a direct continuation of the themes that were present here. So, and
a big thing with Charles Schulz is that he can never. Misery was Charles Schulz's bread and butter. He can never.
Yeah.
He never.
It was.
From what I heard, he never sought out therapy for issues he had, and he just that was kind of because he thought if he ever got. If he ever kind of got cured of his neuroses and such, he wouldn't be good at his job.
Peanuts was his therapy.
Exactly, that was his therapy. Basically, if he did anything else, then that might have killed his creation. He never wanted to risk that. It's the tragedy of Schulz, but again, that could be an interesting idea to maybe put into a film as the subtext of it. Oh, I have peanut shenanigans going on. To kind of, if the big thing of this movie was Charlie Brown's going to succeed one time, we're rooting for him to do that. We're going to root. Where's Charlie Brown going to go next? That could be an idea for a movie. That's all I'm saying.
Also, maybe a remake of "You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown."
Remind me, what's the crux of that one again?
It's vignettes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, well, yeah, again, vignettes.
Well, I'm just saying, I'd like to see a movie with those songs in it. Like, I'd like to see a Charlie Brown musical with those songs.
Would someone do an actual voice for Snoopy?
No.
Fuck no.
I saw them do that once. Never liked it. Just the animated Snoopy singing. Do not like it.
I think it works fine on Broadway. I do. I like that song on Broadway. It's actually one of my favorite songs in the show. Having said that, what I want to see is I just want to see them sing Happiness. I was kind of disappointed that they did sing Happiness at the end of this.
I love the fact that Mark Hamill's played Snoopy.
That is awesome.
It amuses me to no end, and seeing him like in the snout and the ears.
Okay.
Okay, so I guess we're in the final thoughts. Monkey, why don't you start us off?
Okay. I thought they did a very fine job with it. I don't know if there's much more to say than that.
Well, you're not wrong.
Yeah, they did a very fine job with it, and they definitely honored Schulz, I think. And
from day one, when that trailer dropped and we saw like the Peanuts by Schulz, we were like, "Oh, those cocky bastards! If they get this wrong,
yeah.
Oh, if they fuck this up and Schulz's name is on the movie." But no, luckily they knew what they were doing by putting Schulz's name there.
Gonna shove a football where the sun don't shine if they get this wrong.
Especially because they put Schulz's name right there.
I'm gonna kick a field goal and you're gonna feel it for a millennia.
I mean, that was I'm sorry, Monkey.
You disgraced Schulz, Charlie Blue Sky.
Oh god. That was a very cocky thing for them to do. It really was, to put Schulz right there, but it totally paid off. Okay, let's see. I guess in terms of my final thoughts, yeah, this is easily in my top 5 of the year so far. Monkey, it's not as good as Inside Out, but few things are. I mean, Inside Out is just like...
I'm not saying... Again,
let's not rake him, Tiki, let's not rake him over the coals.
I'm not raking him over the coals. I'm just saying, Inside Out is like...
its own thing.
Yeah, oh yeah.
There's no comparison, come on.
We'll see what happens with Good Dinosaur, I guess.
Good Dinosaur is...
Let's not get
question mark here.
Yeah.
But, no, it's just, I think this absolutely kind of, like, lived up to my expectations. All my worries were kind of put at ease. It didn't have any smartphones, any modern technology, any pop culture references, anything like that. I think I was just really impressed by how much of an ensemble this was and how every single character down the line was just used so well. It's a simple story, and yeah, there's a little bit too much Red Baron, but you know what? There's literally a little bit too much Red Baron in a lot of those old Peanut specials, so it's not like it's unprecedented to complain about a Peanut special. Like, yeah, the Red Baron could have been used a little less.
Just means they did a really great job in replicating the Peanuts.
Exactly.
My final thoughts here, then.
Yeah.
Let me say this, but also I'm gonna. Monkey kind of said a little bit about it before, but I'm just gonna walk you through my kind of emotional experience with kind of a framing device of this movie that really touched me and really kind of motivated my final thoughts here. It's just, the beginning and closing sketching device, with the signature, it really, really hit me, especially after watching the Charles Schulz documentary, I believe by PBS, but also CBS and the name, so I'm not quite sure which one. But seriously, folks, check it out if you haven't. It's a great companion to watching. If you can, watch the Schulz documentary and then watch the movie. It's a great experience still.
Oh, yeah.
But in that documentary, one of the most emotional moments in that thing that Monkey just touched on is that Charles Schulz mentioned in an emotional retirement interview, I believe, I want to say, I don't remember who the interviewee was, but an emotional retirement interview. He says, he's so sad. You can tell this is Charles Schulz after he had a stroke too, which is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
It's you can tell he even warns I might cry saying this. He breaks down just saying, I was saying it's been working on Charlie Brown and Friends, yada yada yada, and then he says, but then I realized I never let poor Charlie Brown ever kick the football.
Oh man, yeah.
And this movie just. Well, that was such an impactful thing with Charles Schulz. It always kind of sticks in my mind, and because that documentary is really fantastic too, folks. Just really gets you to see how much this man touched the world with his creation. Anyway, so this movie, in some form, I think they succeeded in what they were doing, as Tiki has mentioned, with by Schulz and all that stuff. It says this movie was his closure. That final image that I will never forget. Again, this is the reason I could watch that ending over and over again. It's just that final image of the Peanuts characters just lifting Charlie Brown triumphantly, and then just kind of the image just then turns to kind of our black and white drawn image, like as if Charles Schulz has just finished the drawing and signed his name, and that speaks volumes. And it's just I think our good old Charles M. Schulz, he would have loved this movie like we do. I think he would have.
Which is absolutely the best compliment you can give this movie. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well said, Dragon. Well said. So thanks, folks, for tuning into this. Sorry it was a little late. We just had to, kind of sync our schedules up. But thanks for your patience, because I definitely thought we were all on point here. This was a fun podcast. Monkey, thanks for coming on.
Of course.
And without further ado, I guess the last thing to say is womp 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 womp.
Kick the football, folks.
Womp 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 womp